What's up, fellow collectors? P Rockzilla's back, and today we're gonna be taking a look at the NieR Automata 2-pack. Well, it's not really a 2-pack. This is the deluxe version and the regular version of A2 from the video game. She's like a secondary character you actually play in the video game, and to me, I mean, I know 2B is like the main character. A lot of people love 2B, but to me, and for some reason, A2 grew on me, and she was more of the character I enjoyed in the game more. So I had to get her. Of course, I had to get 2B also. And the reason I got the deluxe version is basically the deluxe version comes with the secondary parts that you can have her displayed in basically their self-destruct mode. They destruct and, most of their costume is destroyed, so they're a little more revealing. That's the whole one of the main things of the video game. But I'm hopefully this is gonna be the best one of the three and complete my team. So let's get the review started. Dale. Alright, so let's take a look at the box before we get the figure out. And we're just gonna go ahead and the boxes are identical between the deluxe version and the regular version. The only difference is the deluxe version has the deluxe version sticker or emblem here. So that's the only big difference. So the box looks the same. So you get the Play Arts Kai down here, you get your official sticker over here, Play Arts Kai logo. The other logo right down the bottom. Over here, you get all the legal information. If you could read this to you, more power to you. I cannot read that, so enjoy. This is a nice picture of A2 right here. I'm always, I like the long hair better. Anyways, so yeah, so you get that down here, that up here. You get another attention warning sticker there. The flap does open as just like all the other ones, and you get a cool picture of the figure right here. You can tell it's the figure because you can see the joints. So there's some poses you can get the figure in. And then you get the figure right there. So yeah, so in her, I guess if I remember correctly, her destruct mode, her hair gets shorter. So here we go. So let's go ahead and get A2 out the box. Okay, so when you get the box out the way, this is what you get with the two figures. Let's move them into focus a little better. Sorry for all that racket. All right, let's just bring my brightness down a little bit just so you can see the figures just a little bit better. All right. So as you can see, both of the shells are identical. The top layer, at least, the only difference between the two, this is the deluxe, this is the regular, is you get the head on this one. That's a separate head sculpt that comes with the deluxe. Under here, you can see on the regular version, you basically get the stand and the base and the two clamps. So this is all you get for the regular version. And then for the deluxe version, you get one more layer. So under here, you get the secondary weapon, the adapters for the weapons. I thought she would have came with a drill. I gotta remember if I played the game. I don't think she has a bot. But she doesn't have a, I used to figure it doesn't have a bot. You get the bigger sword. I forget what this is called. I'll look it up in a second. I remember there's so many weapons in the game. I forget the names of all of them. Sorry. Forgive me for the hardcore fans. Then you get the body portion, just like with 2B. This is a swap out so you can see more of the skin. And these are the, we'll go over these in details. So basically, this is the stuff that you get on the deluxe version, along with the head and the first shell. And then you get the same base in the bottom and the same clamps. So for majority of this review, I'm going to be messing around with the deluxe version. Since the deluxe version, I'm going to have her displayed in the alternate body type. So she's going to be in a regular body type. So I'm going to show her towards the end, but most of the review is going to be basically the deluxe version. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get these, or at least get her out and all the accessories she comes with so we can take a better look at her in detail. All right, so here we got A2, not displayed, but laid out with all her accessories. And I looked it up real quick. Those two weapons are the Type 4O blade and sword. So did the research real quick. I forgot the name. I knew the one was a blade something, but I thought they were different ones. But anyways, all right. So as always, let's take a look at the figure first. So as you can see, just like with the other figures, they did A2 very good. I just noticed something. I'm not sure if people on the camera are gonna notice that, but I kind of noticed something in hand that I didn't notice in the promo pictures, just from the front there. Anyways, so yeah, so this looks just like A2. I always liked the way her legs looked in the game. Just kind of remind me of like the Raiden, like the cyborg ninja from Metal Gear. Kind of like the way these attachments were on like the paint and everything. As you can see here, you have some weathering there. These are not stains. I mean, these are stains from the game. This is weathering. This is not stains on the plastic. So as you can see, I never noticed on the back of this. I guess because the hair was always in the way in the game, how this overlapped. That's good. Like I said, this is always good to have figures in hand. You can actually see more details than you would normally see from on screen. You get the patterns on here on her shirt. When I think about it, it's like her whole legs. Just her, oh, they got, what she got? Yeah, it looks like they're all cybernetic here. It looks like her toes have the human on top, the human skin, or at least parts. Interesting. All right. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right. Got the little, you know, the culo back there. All right, so let's go through the articulation while we got her out. So, of course, with this head sculpt, due to the hair, you're going to be hindered at some articulation. But the head could go the full 360 if you wanted to. And this it's like a softer plastic, so you can kind of move it a little bit. If you want to change around, like, you know, for instance, you want to do something like this, where it won't look as bad. You tuck it over here on the shoulder. Yep, so she can look back that much. I don't want to take her hair off just yet. She can look down about that much. And then the arms can go, oop, you gotta be careful. See, I saw a piece of plastic right there. That piece right there, as I did it, you gotta put the arms down, because when I did it with the arms up, it was pinching that soft piece of plastic, so you don't want that part to rip off or anything, so be careful with that. So with that in mind, let's move the hands all the way up first before I do that. All right, and then same thing down here is move them down and then up, so she can do her T-pose. I'm liking A2. I'm liking A2. Like I said, in the game, I always liked her better than 2B, but everybody has their favorites. All right, so does she have, she does have bicep swivel, so you can put the bicep that way. So this would be a good way to show the articulation at the elbow. She gets the full, woo, look at that. Auto ideal, look at that. Look at her face, ideal. But yeah, so she get the full bend. So that's good to know. You can do the full bend this way, and look at that. She can strike a pose like nothing's to it. Anyway, so yep. So that's some good articulation right there at the arms. Very good. Oh, I like that. Damn, she's gonna be good to pose with. All right, so anyways, enough of that arms. So let's bring these back down. And the arms can move up. They can go, they feel like they can go 360, but I'm not gonna test it because of that soft plastic piece right there. But they do feel like they can do 360. All right, actually, so let's keep the arms up a little bit. And let's go to the waist swivel. So you do get some in the upper body, and I can tell already as I move it, it does come loose. That's normal because that's where you will take the body part and swap it out with the other one. You do get some articulation down here too. So you get 2 points of articulation. You get under the chest here, and then at the actual waist. So she could, if you really wanted to, have her looking sideways, but it's gonna look funny with the waist right here. All right, so let's put that back forward. All right, so that's good there. So let's get the waist. Let's see, she can't go back much. I mean, she can go back a little bit in the upper portion of the body, but not really in the lower portion, and not much of an ab crunch either. All right, so that's the only negative articulation so far. Let's go down to the legs. So the legs, let's see. You can actually pull them down a little bit, but they are ratcheted, as you can hear. And she could, same thing here, you want to be careful with the soft plastic right here. She could do the split. I can bring her more, but there we go. She could do a split. So with that in mind, you already know she should be able to, well, maybe not. Well, she could do a sideways Hogan boot. That's the lazy version. All right, so legs go back down. Not really. There we go. Oh, there we go. A little bit rough going up, as you can hear. So, yep, so she could do the Hogan boot. Yep. All right, so let's go that far up. The knees, same thing with the elbows. They can bend all the way. So she's gonna be real fun to pose with. The only part so far, like I said, is the waist is the only part that hinders it a little bit so far, but she can pose pretty good. Look at that, like a ballerina type pose. More like this. Let's put the toes way up. Even better. Here we go. So you get good articulation in the legs. Be careful, yeah. See, I'm seeing little pieces of paint chip off. And that's from inside the gears, but that's normal wear and tear, so you may not want to pose this figure too many times. All right, you get that. That's good articulation right there. We have the ankles, same thing as the other ones. You can go back and forward. Not much side pivot. And no toe articulation on her. There we have A2 in full effect right there. All right, so let's look at her accessories. So what I did was when I spread the accessories out, everything on the left-hand side here, it comes with the regular version. Everything on the right hand, deluxe version. So let's get the boring stuff out the way first. You got the typical stand that comes with all three of them. You have these rows where you could put the stand. This is the base up. You can put a stand on their logo right here. It's confusing sometimes. I think normally you would use a shorter base to put around the figure's waist, and then the higher base for the weapons. I've seen other people do it vice versa, but to me, it just feels more comfortable the other way. So that's your choice. You can do it whichever way you want. And then the way it works is basically you plug them into any part here. Let's say, for instance, we're drawing this one. Plug them there. Actually did it backwards. And then you can you get two separate clamps, two different sizes. These are not self-adjusting. You got to readjust them once you put them around the waist. So normally I use a small one for putting around the waist of the figure. This one I barely use. I'll probably use this one if I use like a dynamic pose like in the air. So there you go. You got this base, the two separate clamps, the two stands. Then she comes with the hands. So she comes equipped. Look at me, I'm always weapons. I'm getting always military thoughts. Anyway, she comes with open hands, open relaxed hands already on the figure. And then you have kind of two open action hands, because in the game too, they can actually do things this way. They kind of doing an action pose like this with their hands, and the weapons could fly out. So you can use it for that. And then she has two weapon gripping hands for the swords. And these are normally easy to swap out. And then she comes with the sword. And this is normal. So this piece comes off. This is how you would get the sword onto the hand. You normally would just slide this into the hand right here. Once you slide that in, then you just easily put the sword that way. And that way you don't have to worry about damaging the figure or the weapon. I think it goes that way. Yep, it goes that way. So this looks real nice. Good paint application on there. The silver does look metal. It's not metal, it's plastic. Excuse me. You get red at the trigger grip right there. This is a nice sword that she comes with. Then she has the other weapon. And this is what I like right here. This is a mixture of like Guts sword and Cloud, maybe. This thing is huge. I'm definitely going to use this for her pose in the deluxe version. My pose is deluxe version. Gotta have this displayed. And then same thing here, you know, has the grip right here. Slide it into the hand. Once you slide it into the hand, just put it into there. It only goes in one way. You'll feel it just like that. It's like, I'm not gonna put it all the way because I'm gonna need to use it later for the posing. And there you go. So the sword looks real good too. Same thing, same paint. Looks metallic. Then you get the 2 rings. And these go with this base right here. So these are the stands here that you would normally use to put the weapons on if you want to have the weapons displayed behind her. Same thing with the other figures. Is it this way? Yeah, it's this way. You basically put that on there. And then you would take the smaller sword, obviously goes into the smaller slot. That holds it just like that. So that's for that sword. And then this ring is for the bigger sword. This one will go there. And then obviously, same thing. The sword will slide into here. This one's a little warped. I'm probably going to warm this up. As you can see, it's a little warped right there. So I got to probably warm it up to get the sword to slide in there. But basically, it'll slide into there and then you'll have it displayed onto this part right here. Basically, you put the stand into there. And then these 2 pieces can peg into there. As you can see, that's kind of warped too. So I got to warm these up to kind of reshape them. And then you get the body part that you swap out. This is with the self-destruct body part that will swap out. This is what I'm going to have her display on the deluxe version. And then you get the secondary head. All right. So we'll take a quick break. What I'll do is get some of the accessories on her, and then I'll do a size comparison. All right, so I just want to go over real quick of how to remove some of the accessories. So the good thing about the deluxe version too is you get this head sculpt right here. You can actually swap out that face between the 2 heads. So let's say, for instance, you want the long hair on the screaming face. All you have to do is basically on both heads, you do the same exact thing. There's a seam here in the top of the head. You just pull the bangs out. As you pull the bangs out, the face comes off right there. So basically, you just swap out the face from both of them. I'm not gonna do it now because I want to have mine's displayed with my deluxe version displayed with that screaming face. And that's how you swap it out. And then just take the head off and then put this one on there. Now for the body, we're gonna do this together. So this is gonna be the first time I do this. So this supposedly comes off easily. So just pull this off right here, wiggle it just a little bit. Oop, the head came off. Didn't want that happening. Actually, oh, not for, yeah, we'll do that. There we go. So that pulls off right there. So you have that piece right there. So once you have that off, then you have to pull this piece off right here. Boom, that slides off easily. So then you take this part right here. This is normal. That's the weathering. And then just slide this onto here. It's gonna go on there a little bit better. So just keep pushing it down more until it doesn't go down anymore. All right, and then you basically take the top part and same thing, just slide it into here. And it moves a little bit. Just gotta get it in there. And just keep pushing it down. So basically you get it in there, push it down, and then you just pick which head you want to use. And that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish adjusting this figure. And then from there, we'll go to a good size comparison. Okay, so here we have her posed up in a default pose, good for size comparison. And of course, so let's go ahead and bring in another PlayArts Kai figure and one of her teammates. Let's bring in 2B, and this is the self-destruct version, the deluxe. So as you can see, as she compares next to 2B, they're about the same size. Now, one thing real quick before I continue, I did have a little issue trying to get that waist portion in on the top portion. Now, this is not fully flushed in there, so I need to try to kind of maybe take it off, reheat it, or heat it up, maybe try to get in there fully, or mess around with it. So A2 may have like a little bit height difference because of that. So, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I do have it in all the way. I'm not sure yet. But I'll keep messing around with it after I finish the review. So let's continue with the size comparison. So let's go ahead and bring in another PlayArts Kai figure. And let's bring in the Final Fantasy remake, Final Fantasy VII remake. And that's Cloud. So there we got Cloud in there. Then let's bring in something that other collectors may have, and that's the 3-0 Deluxe Bumblebee from the Bumblebee movie. This is another figure we can kind of get a good size comparison with. Put it a little bit more this way. And then let's do one last figure. And this is going to be a Hot Toys Star Wars 501st Clone Trooper. Let's see if I can get him in here for you guys. There we go. I know a lot of people kind of ask sometimes, are these like 6 scale figures? They're not really 6 scale because they range different on size. They're about I want to say they range between 8 to 9 inches, so I'm not sure what scale that is, but that's how they fit in with other collectibles. So here you go. So A2 with other figures. The choice is yours. Now let's go ahead and do our final poses and final thought. Here I got her pose in a dynamic pose. Now this dynamic pose confirmed to me that I don't fully have the upper torso fully into the peg. So I still got to mess around. As you can see there, it's turning right there. You see a little gap there. I got to get that a little fleshed out a little bit more. I compared them with the deluxe one. On the deluxe one, I mean the regular one, you can actually see that it's really flush. Mine's not fully flush, so I got to get in there more. But other than that, I mean, you can see I can still get some dynamic poses. Yeah, the waist, you can't really bend the waist. That's the only negative I see so far with the figure. But articulation wise, she holds, like she can hold that heavy sword 2 hands, you know, kind of no problem. You have to, you know, adjust it in the right angle in order for it to hold the sword, you know, without it falling off or getting off balance on the pose. But here she goes. She's holding it fine. She's standing. Yeah, she's standing on the stand, but she still is on 1 foot. So she's holding that most of the weight on that ankle right there. So at least with her compared to my Deluxe 2B, I had a loose ankle. This one, she has the pretty good stiff ankles, which is a good thing for posing. This figure so far to me, I mean, to me, I think she is the best out of the 3 so far. I'm gonna get them on the final pose. I'm gonna have her and the regular version kind of pose together so we get a quick, you know, look at both of them together. But she's more flexible than 2B since 2B had that skirt. I know when you take the skirt off 2B, you can end the self-destruct mode. She does have more flexibility, but the same thing on the waist portion. So I guess that's kind of a gripe on both of them. They both have like limited articulation at the waist. The legs on her, I mean, without this, since her regular version doesn't have the skirt too, you get full posing on her legs. So she doesn't have no hindering from the skirt. Unlike 2B, 2B does look better in general. Her costume in general does look better. So I was able to get both of them posed up together. So on the left hand side, you're gonna have your deluxe version, and on the right hand side, you have your regular version. But the regular version is using the stand and the accessory pieces and the sword of the deluxe version. So if you want to have that look to have her with both weapons, you kind of have to have both deluxe and regular, or just have the deluxe version and not worry about her self-destruct clothes and just stick with the deluxe version fully clothed. Like I said, I needed both just because I have 2B. I have both versions of 2B, and I have them posed kind of just like this, where I have an idea of how I want to have all of them posed together. So I'm excited to finally have the team together. I agree, and in my opinion, I was correct. A2 is the best, in my opinion, of the 3. I like her. I like the posability of her. I like her weapons a little bit more better. I know 2B comes with the bot and comes with a little more accessories, but I mean it's a close tie to me. But if I had to pick one or the other, I'll go with A2. If you had to go between the two, obviously if you're going to pick one, I'll say 2B because that's the main character. But if you can get more than one, I would say get A2 before you get 9S because she's a cool character and she's a cool figure. This is just some of the poses. I was messing around with a few. I took a little longer with this review because I couldn't decide what pose I wanted to stick with for this final pose, but I guess I'm gonna stick with this for now. I know whenever it comes time to dust my figures, I'm gonna go ahead and just repose these figures again. And I just can't wait to have the whole set finally on my shelf and displayed, and I can finally look at them whenever I want. All right, people. So if you're gonna get this figure, I would say if you were on the fence on it, like I said, if you're gonna get one, then I would say yes, get 2B because she's the main character. But I would definitely recommend A2 if you can get her. If you want to get, I'm not saying get both deluxe and regular. If you're going to get one, then obviously go to the deluxe. Gives you the option of having both. You can swap out the both appearances in your display. And if you're not a fan of the NieR Automata video game and you're just curious, you know, it's not a must buy, but it's a good pickup. It's a good pickup. And I'm happy I got her. I'm happy I got both. Like I said, I may have to go back and pick up a 9S regular version just to kind of have the full set. But like I said, that's just an if. All right, people. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you enjoyed this nice line of PlayArts Kai NieR Automata figures. I enjoyed them. I love them. I love the game. So once again, please hit the subscribe, hit that like button, click that bell notification. And as always, keep collecting. Be good. Stay safe. Dale.